This is The Speaking Show. I'm David Newman, and you're tuned in to the #1 podcast for speakers, consultants, and experts who want to speak more profitably. I am here with Iman Aghay, and we are talking about something very, very important, which is your marketing message blueprint. Iman, welcome to the show.
Oh, David, thank you for having me here.
This is so critically important, and I don't think we've ever had an episode that talks about this, about aligning your life's purpose, your gifts, your talents, your skills with the business that you're running. And I got this wrong 2 separate times in my past, at least. Time number 1, it was follow your passion. Just do what you think you need to be doing. And I was broke and I was struggling and I was all over the map. And then one day I remember saying, I'm tired of being broke. I'm just going to focus on what makes money. And a good friend of mine says, well, I don't know if that's the right path. I said, dude, it is the right path. He says, well, but do you love it? And I practically bit his head off. I said, you know what I love? I love something that makes money. Whatever makes money is the new thing that I love. You can see where that ended up. You know, I did make some money, but I hit a brick wall, burnout, dead end, etc. So both of those things, I'm guessing, according to your methodology, are incorrect.
Yes. So
take us through, how should we start to think about this topic?
Okay, so first, I actually going to go and continue on the thing that you mentioned, because I'm going to go and open it a little bit more, because unless people have experienced it, they don't know what we are talking about and what happens, right? So you know, because you experienced it and you clearly know how it feels, right? So I'm going to tell you a couple of stories there on how things feel and how it ends up to be. So the first part is doing something that you love and you really enjoy. And it doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter how much it's going to make. It doesn't matter about like kind of the finance of it, doesn't matter, but it's something that you love to do, right? And many times I actually talk to, for example, healers that are in that round. They're like, okay, I'm a healer. I want to help people. I want to support people. Many times, actually, they even feel guilty about charging people. Like they lower their price of their services. They try to save people money. They try to, kind of do things in a way that just, you know what, I'm just a healer and I just want to heal people. I'm not a business owner. And like, they go all the way that, right? And it's not just the healers. I mean, like, there are lots of people who are trainers, or lots of people who want to just get in front of people and inspire people and empower people. And they're like, as long as I'm inspiring people and empowering people, I am super happy, right? Except that one of the things that we should realize is that money on its own, it's not a bad thing. Money is just simply an amplifier. And if you add money to something that is good, it can get much better. And if you add money to something that is bad, it can get much worse. If you put money behind a business that is helping people to make a difference in their lives, then you can work with a lot more people. Then you can serve a lot more people, because now you have money for advertisement. Now you have money for team members, that those team members can do your marketing. Now you can actually spend money on training new team members so they can do more of what you do. So it amplifies all the good things that you do in the world. And if you put money behind something that is bad, obviously it creates more bad in the world, right? But then the mindset that people come with is like, oh, I just want to do something that I'm passionate about, comes with the fact that they forget that the money is just an amplifier. And if you want to make a big difference in the world, you need to generate income from it so you can use that income behind it to amplify the work that you do, so you can continue doing what you do. Because here is the thing. Many times people begin with the fact that it's like totally aligned their passion. They don't generate income with it. At the beginning, they were doing it 8 hours a day, but then now they're like, well, I'm not making any money with this, so I got to do something else to make money. Now they're doing 6 hours a day of it. Now they're doing 4 hours a day of it. Now they're doing 2 hours a day of it, because they are now generating income from something that is their passion. And then at the end of the day, they can't afford their own passion. So they give up. And that's not sustainable. Now, the second part is the part that people say, I am passionate about anything that makes me money. Now, I have actually a great story about this. One of my best mentorship students over the years was a person who contacted me through our application form on our website. And in the application, he said, I'm running a $500,000 business known as one of the world's best experts in an area, and I hate to do what I'm doing right now. So we got on the phone and he said, okay, so let me tell you this. 20 years ago, I needed to make money and I was good at picking up girls at the bar. So I would walk into any bars and I would pick up any girls I wanted. And my friends started asking me how I do it. So I started teaching 1, and 2, and 4, and 10, and 20, and 30. And I become this pickup coach that I just teach guys how to pick up girls at the bar. Then I started creating courses on it. Then I started doing seminars and events. And as part of our marketing things that we did over the years, we realized every time that we are demeaning to girls, more guys want to work with us. So my brand kind of became this brand that I'm demeaning to girls. And I have all of these guys who want to pick up girls at the bar. But I hate being demeaning to girls. But if I'm not going to make money. I make $500,000 a year profit, and I have the lifestyle of a person who makes $500,000 a year. So I can't afford to stop doing this. The moment I want to go back to being myself, I won't have money to pay for my car. I won't have money to pay for my house. I can get evicted from my own house because I don't have the money to pay the mortgage. So I'm stuck in this whole world that I hate to be in. And like literally, I started this 20 years ago because I just needed money to buy lunch. And now, 20 years later, I'm still doing this because I need the money to pay for my mortgage. I need to pay my house. And he was like, just save me from myself. Just work with it. I need to find a way that I can build something that's aligned with my passion and purpose because I can't keep doing this. I'm like, I'm done, but I don't have a way out. We call it the golden handcuffs. No, if this golden handcuffs is generating income and you are like kind of stabbing your own soul every single day by doing that. So when David is saying that I was burned out and like kind of didn't want to continue, this is what he means, right? It's just kind of like gets to the point that you hate doing what you do. You hate every single day, but you have these golden handcuffs that is making you money. And then at one point, you get to the point that you hate the work, so you are not actually doing it properly. So they stopped being profitable. So something that was one day making money, now it's not even making money anymore, and you're just stuck in this thing that you hate. So we go back to the beginning of it, and we are like, okay, so how do we do this correctly? How do we do this right? And one of the things I want to actually point out is that you may need a couple of do-overs. You may actually start this one time and you are like, okay, I learned these new things about myself. I didn't know these things about myself because I had never experienced these things. And then now that I learned, I can get this learning and kind of implement it in my life and then go make it a little bit better. And then you make it a little bit better, make it a little bit better. And that's totally normal. And that's kind of the evolution of your business over the years. Same as I had those evolution in my business, same as anybody had that evolution in their business. Like even you look at Gary Vaynerchuk and you see like about 15 years ago, he was a wine guy, right? He was the guy that was like sitting in front of the camera. He was tasting wine, right? And kind of build that business. They're like, oh, wine is not my passion. It's not where I want to go. And, kind of start like going after technology and other things. And over the years, you see, for example, maybe 10 years ago, his message was hustle, 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 right? It was like all about hustle. And then when you look at his message now, you see that his message is build something that's aligned with your true self. So it's totally normal to go through the evolution of your message, go through the evolution of your life purpose, go through that evolution. And that's another thing, David, that a lot of people have challenge with. They're like, Iman, what if I get started with this and I don't like it? They're like, okay, then that's a fantastic thing, because if you don't like it, you learn something new about yourself. If you learn something new about yourself, you can go and implement. However, as you called it, we call it the marketing message blueprint. So there is a way to do this in a way that actually it's less challenging, it's like less trial and error, and it's more step by step. So you can actually get more focused, do it in the right way, and build it in a way that is proven, is successful, at least the business side of it. And then as you grow, and you find out more about yourself, then you can go and implement it more in your business and make sure that your business is more aligned with yourself. And the more your business is aligned with yourself, the more the two things you are building is going to work better in your, like with your passion, is going to work better financially, and it's going to help you enjoy your life. And that's where we come with the marketing message blueprint. And the whole point of this is one thing. Yeah, like there's a mindset shift there that I always share with people. I say,
Yeah.
what if you choose the change you want to make in the world? What if you have a big vision of the biggest change you want to make in the world, and you can build a business that every client is an agent of change? So you are not selling your products, you are attracting the agents of change. And these agents of change invest on themselves to work with you to get that change in their life. So, what if your vision, instead of being, oh, I want to help people heal, is what if your vision is, I want to heal 100,000 people through my life? And every client now, instead of being just a patient, is an agent of change that wants to get a deep healing inside and wake up their healer within. So that person is making an impact in their lives and also impacting other people around them. And to get that, they are investing on themselves with you. So they are investing with you, they're paying you to work with you, but now you're helping them to wake up their healer within. So they are changing. And that creates a fan. That creates a person that's going to talk to everybody about you and how they need to follow you. So you can be the person that is working with one person at a time and charges $70 per hour, $80, $100, $120 per hour, or you want to be the leader in making a real change in the world. And that's the part that when people look at that, they're like, oh, wait a second. I like to be this person, but I don't know what's my vision. I don't know what my vision is. And that's the beginning part of that blueprint. The beginning of that blueprint is introspection. Is like, what is the big change you want to make in the world? And what is your life purpose? What is your life purpose? What is the change you want to make in this world? Now, I'll share a little bit of that about myself with you, right? To see actually how that kind of comes from there and comes to the business and that kind of implements like in different places, right?
Hey, this interview is a real moneymaker. If you're serious about ramping up your reach and revenue as a speaker, trainer, or expert, book a confidential speaker strategy call with our team. The link is doitmarketing.com/call. It will be the most valuable 45 minutes you invest in your speaking-driven business. Speaking of value, let's get back to the show.
My journey started because a few years back in October 2010, I was running a web design company. I was running a six-figure web design company. I never wanted to be a web designer, but I needed money. I started my business from scratch. I was 17 days away from becoming homeless when I started my web design company. And I started it because I just wanted money. Like I literally needed money to eat lunch and dinner. Like that, my wife and I were just at the verge. We knew 17 days later, we knew that we were not going to have money to pay the rent and we would be evicted. So that was the day that I started my company. And I was like, the fastest thing people pay for is web design. So I started a web design company. I didn't know how to design websites. Long story short, I built a six-figure company within a few months. And October 2010, one morning I woke up and I realized I'm bleeding internally. I was rushed to the hospital where doctors realized I lost 60% of my blood. And I had lost so much blood that they could not perform a surgery on me to be able to find the source of bleeding because I didn't have enough blood to do the surgery. So they said, okay, what we can do with you is that we're going to give you some blood transfusion. Hopefully, the blood that we are transfusing to you, we're giving you, is going to be faster than the blood that you're losing. And if you survive tonight and you have more blood in your body tomorrow, then we can perform surgery on you. Otherwise, you're going to die. So they got me connected to the blood transfusion and they're like, well, hopefully we're going to see you tomorrow morning. So at age 27, I found myself on my deathbed. And out of nowhere, I realized, okay, like this can be my last minutes on earth. I was holding my wife's hand and thinking, this can be the last minutes. Like these are the last moments of my life. And when that happened, I looked back at my life and I said, what do you regret? What do you regret? And the biggest thing I regretted was that I never lived true to my own heart. I realized I never wanted to be a web designer. And yet I was dying a web designer. I was thinking, what was the impact I made in the world? I said, how are people going to remember you tomorrow? Like tomorrow is going to be your funeral. How people are going to remember you? And I said, probably people are going to come there and say, Iman was a nice guy. And I hated it because I was like, I didn't come to this world to die a nice guy. I came to this world because I wanted to make a big impact in the world. And yet I'm just dying a nice guy. And like just the fear of dying without making any impact in the world was the biggest fear I've ever experienced in my life. And after they gave me 5 bags of blood transfusion, my bleeding stopped on its own, just out of nowhere, just it stopped. And they were like, okay, so you apparently have enough blood that you're going to survive. You're not going to die. And at the time I was thinking, I was like, I was not sure if I'm going to survive or not. I was like, what would you do differently? Like, if you survive this deathbed, what will you do differently? And I said, I'm going to make an impact in the lives of 100 million people before I die. Next time I'm on my deathbed, I'm going to make sure that I have made a difference in the lives of 100 million people. That's how I'm going to die. They kept me at hospital for 10 days and they released me the night before my 27th birthday. I always say like that was the best birthday gift of my life, right? I got a second life the night of my 27th birthday. And that's a gift, like every single day. And from that moment, I see every single day a gift that can shape the rest of my life. Because it was like that moment being on that deathbed made me realize like life can change any second without any prior notice, without anything. And I said, okay, if I want to make a difference in the lives of 100 million people, I can't do it alone. And if I can't do it alone, how am I going to do it? And I said, I'm going to train 10,000 leaders to train 10,000 people to work with 10,000 people and make a difference in their lives. If I can train 10,000 leaders to make an impact in the lives of 10,000 people, now I've made an impact in the lives of 100 million people each. I said, who are the leaders? The leaders are coaches, consultants, authors, speakers, healers, people who have the ability to make a lasting impact in people's lives. So before that, I used to work with a lot of corporations. Before that, I used to sell a lot of crap, as I call it now. I used to sell blenders and I used as a marketing consultant, used to consult with lots of these type of things. And I stopped it. I'm like, no, I want to make an impact in people's lives. I want to make a lasting impact in people's lives. And so the people that I want to work with are leaders, are coaches, consultants, speakers, authors, healers, like people who are really making an impact in people's lives. So that suddenly changed all of the clients that I kind of was working with them just for money. I made them clients that I actually truly honestly cared about the making impact, right? Then we created something called I'm a Leader t-shirt. Then we started building something that's leaders training. Then we created something called Lead Mastermind. Then I built Leaders School of Business. And then we started preparing, teaching leaders how to make an impact in people's lives. So suddenly, one by one, these people start showing up. The students are like, I want to make an impact in the lives of 10,000 people. I want to make an impact in the lives of 10,000 people. I want to make an impact in the lives of 10,000. So now every client was an agent of change of my vision. See? And when you are standing in a place that instead of thinking, what package can I create that people buy? Can I give them some discounts? Should I run it like a Monday, Cyber Monday? Should I run the, I never gave people Cyber Monday. I never gave people, was like what our mindset was, is that we are training committed leaders. We are training committed leaders. We are training people who want to make an impact in other people's lives. So instead of trying to compete over the price, instead of trying to compete over making ourselves cheap, trying to compete over features, we started competing on getting committed leaders. Like we have programs that is for people who are committed to their success. We have programs that is for people who are committed to the success of their clients. And suddenly the type of the clients I was attracting to myself changed. And then the type of the companies that worked with us and all of those changed. And that led into my first company, and that's the second company and the third company. And now between all the companies that I own, every single company is aligned with the goal of making an impact in the lives of 100 million people before I die. And every single one of our students know that that's my vision. And they know that they are on board because we want them to make an impact in the lives of 10,000 people. Now, I have some students that they come to me and they're like, Iman, forget about 10,000. I want to make a difference in the lives of 1 million people before I die. And how should I do that? And then these people are pushing me to even be better, to even learn more, to even teach more, to even figure out more. They are making me a better leader.
I'm just channeling our listeners, and they're like, oh my goodness, this sounds incredible. How do I start? How do I start to sort out this decision-making process? So we've got the introspection. We're aligned now with some purpose that we've done some deep, and I know you've got some methodology and some training and some tools on how to surface this very deep-seated purpose, intention. What's your place in the world? What's your mission on the planet? What are the building blocks that you walk people through in your system, in your teachings, that will help them sharpen their focus so they can start to implement all of this great work and whatever that might be as a speaker, as an expert, as a healer, as a practitioner, as a coach of some kind? What are the building blocks along the way that you march them through?
So there is a foundation piece. And then on top of the foundation piece, there is an action plan. Now, the foundation piece includes 3 audiences. And for each audience, you need to get 3 clarities. And you can do that in about 4 weeks. So it doesn't need years and years of stuff, right? So within 4 weeks, you can get the 3 clarities around the 3 audiences. So I'm quickly going to go through the 3 clarities and the 3 audiences. And then we're going to talk about the action plan. And I have a actually good gift for the audience here, for all of your audience members, so they can actually go through a training and they can learn all of those stuff in more details because we have limited time here, right? So the 3 audiences, the first one is always yourself. You are your first audience. Have you ever woken up in the morning and you're like, hey, I'm not sure if the work that I'm doing is pretty good. I'm not sure if I'm on the right path. I'm not sure if the package is, am I doing the right thing? Have you ever talked yourself down? Or have you ever woken up and motivated yourself? You're like, today is going to be an amazing day. And I'm going to, so the first piece of that is always yourself. And the way that you communicate with yourself makes a huge difference in your abilities in communicating with others, in the way that you show up. The second audience is your target market. The second audience is the group of people that want to actually work with you, that are your potential clients, that people that you are going to talk to them. And here is the thing. You need to have clarity of speaking with them, clarity of communicating with them, clarity of that message. And then the third audience are your joint venture partners. The joint venture partners are people that will support you with expanding your message, with getting your message and sharing it with more people. These are people who have podcasts, who have radio shows, who have TV shows, who have mailing lists, who can do webinars, who can put you on the stage. And if you don't have clarity around your message, then you can't get on a TV show, on the radio show, on the podcast, on the stage. Okay. So you need clarity for your message for three audiences: yourself, your target market, and your joint venture partners. So that's the three audiences. But then for each of the three audiences, you need to get clarity on three things, which in total gives you clarity of message. So the three things that you need to get clarity: number one is clarity of vision. Clarity of vision. So what's your clarity of vision for yourself? What is your vision in this world? What is your life purpose? And, David, one of the saddest things I've ever watched in my life was this interview that an interviewer went to a park and interviewed 50 people back to back and asked them one simple question: what's your life purpose? Out of 50 people, not a single person knew what their life purpose is. I always tell people, when I ended up on my deathbed, I realized till that point I was alive, but I never lived. After that point, I learned how to live. The challenge that we have in the world is that we have many, many, many of people. 99%, 98% of people are alive, but they are not living a life true to themselves because they don't know what true to themselves is. Because they never step back and say, what is it that my heart truly desires? Am I living truly to my heart? Everything I'm doing in the day, is it true to my heart? Or am I doing it because of others' expectations? So that's the first part. You want to be a leader. The first thing is you step up and lead yourself. You don't want to be a leader who doesn't know themselves. So that's the first part. Okay? Getting clarity of vision for yourself, which comes in terms of your life purpose. The second part is clarity of vision for your clients. So what's the vision for you, for this client when they work with you? Okay. Now I'm going to tell you a sentence. Now, this is deeper in our training, but people invest on themselves to work with you because of the vision that you have of them, of whom they can become or what they can achieve. Many times I ask people, so what's your vision of when a person works with you? What's your vision of what they can achieve or whom they can become? And they say, well, I don't understand the question. So, okay, who does the person become after they work with you? What's the specific thing they can achieve? They're like, well, I'm not sure. I'm like, well, if you don't have clarity over that vision, then how can you communicate that message with the person? So the person says, I want to invest on myself with you. You're going to get stuck. Then you have to fight over price and the features and like all of those things instead of being a leader in the market. And then the third thing is, what's your vision of working with your joint venture partners? What's the vision? How is this joint venture partner giving back to their life, to their society, to their everything, to their target market? If they are putting you in front of the people, what's the vision of the impact that you're making in that person's life? They're like, well, I don't know. They're like, okay, so if you don't have the vision, then you can't inspire the joint venture partners. Maybe some joint venture partners want to promote you because you pay them, then you make some money. But if you don't have that clarity of vision, then you will have much limited number of people who want to put you in front of their audience members.
Super quick commercial break. Isn't this interview amazing? If you'd like to get more ideas on how to start or grow your speaking business fast, pop over to our free training at doitmarketing.com/webinar.
So the first thing is clarity of vision. The second thing is clarity of offer. Now, again, clarity of offer, you need to have it for three people. Clarity of offer for yourself. Many times, service providers, coaches, consultants, speakers just don't have clear offer. And when you don't have a clear offer in your own mind and you don't know what your offer for people is, how can you communicate that clearly with people? Then that gets you stuck. And when you doubt your own offer, well, guess what? Then people doubt everything around your business and your offer. The second thing is the offer, the clarity of offer for your target market. Now, how are you going to present this offer to the target market so the target market also understands? Because sometimes you have clarity over what you offer, but you're too much toward the technicality of it because you're the creator of it. You are the educated side of that party. Now, the other part, that is the consumer, should understand what you're offering. So you have to have clarity over that offer. So the way that the client understands, just because you understand doesn't mean the client understands. So you need to get the clarity of offer for that. And then what's your offer for your joint venture partner? Because the joint venture partner offer is different than the offer for the target market. And if you don't have clarity over that offer, you don't have clarity over that message, and you don't have clarity over that message, then you have hard time communicating with yourself, with your target market, and with your joint venture partners. And the third one is clarity of ask. Now, the clarity of ask, how does that show up in your life? So you need to have clarity of ask for yourself. And the clarity of ask for yourself shows up as expectations. What is your expectation of yourself every day? What's your expectation of yourself every single day? Do you ask yourself every night before going to bed, did what I did today contribute to my big vision? Do you ask yourself every morning, how the responsibilities, the tasks I'm going to take today, I'm going to do today, are going to contribute to my life purpose? Are you checking every task against your vision? And do you ask yourself how you can every day improve the actions that you take to make them more aligned with your life purpose? And most people don't, because they don't have clarity over their vision or life purpose or their offer. So they can't have clarity over ask because, well, asking themselves toward what vision, right? Because every night you ask yourself, did I do something that contributes to my vision? If the answer is no, but if you don't know the vision, that you can't even ask that question. So the second part is that, do you have clarity of ask for your potential clients? Many times, you know you can change a person's life. You're talking to them, you know for the fact you can impact their life in a big way. But then you talk to the client, and the client at the end says, let me think about it. I'll get back to you. And they'll never get back to you. Why? Because you didn't have a clear ask. You didn't have a clear next step defined for the target market. And if you don't have a clear ask defined for your target market, then you get stuck. Then you can't generate income. You can't make that impact, and it stops you. And the last one, do you have a clear ask for your potential promotional partner? For the joint ventures, or also called promotional partners, do you have a clear ask? What does it exactly look like? So we have the offer. Okay, this is how we're going to do the work together. But okay, let's put it on our calendar. It's an interesting thing, David. Sometimes people say, yeah, this person said that they were going to promote me, but they never did. They say, well, did you set the date on when the email is going to go out? They're like, no. I'm like, so you didn't have clarity on ask. You had the clarity on offer, but you didn't have clarity of ask. They're like, but they said they were going to promote me. I'm like, yes, but it wasn't specific. How? Did you send them any swipe copies to promote you? No. Like, so how does the person want to promote you? You didn't have clarity of ask there with that promotion. Now, when you get these three clarities over these three audiences, that's the time that you have the foundation of your business that can be aligned with your life purpose. But then now that needs to be put into an action plan that you can go and implement it to build it for yourself. Now, there are different business models you can use. The business model that I really like and I suggest to people to use is the business model where you use an online course leading to a 3-day live event, leading to a higher end mastermind program or a mentorship program. That has lots and lots of benefits. Pretty much anybody who has succeeded in this industry is following that model or a similar model to that model. There are so many, we call it leader success roadmap. And there's like a whole like different world of opportunities and benefits to that, right? But the thing is that a lot of people teach all the other parts. Go create a course, become a public speaker, do this, do that, do that. And then people go and take this training and that training, learn how to do Facebook ads. But then they don't know that foundation. And when you are missing that foundation piece, anything you do, you doubt. Anything you do, you doubt. Or like, is it really what I want to do? Is it really aligned with what I want to go? Is it something I want to do for the rest of my life? Why is this not working? Right? Because you're missing that foundation.
Totally. And Iman, as you're explaining this, I'm thinking of all kinds of problems that experts and coaches and consultants, and even that I had, and maybe you had before you figured this out, that we are constantly stuck in tactic after tactic, or promotion after promotion, or the how. Well, how do I do this? Should I be using live stream? Should I be using webinars? Should I have a podcast? And unless you have the clarity, and I love this model that you have, I know we're going to give people some access to some free training to get started on their own blueprint. But until you know, why are you here on the planet? What is your mission here for the next 80 or 90, hopefully more than 27, the next 80 or 90 years? Why were you put here? Yeah. Okay, you got that. Great. Now, who is it we're going to impact? Because you can't help everybody. Target market of everybody is target market of nobody. And of course, who's going to help you? Who are your friends, your partners, your allies, your champions, your advocates, your tribe of people that you're going to bring with you? And, I had a blog post that says your business needs to flop. And flop stands for feature and leverage other people. Feature and leverage other people. If no one's helping you, it's because you're not helping enough people. If no one is promoting you, it's because you're not promoting enough other people. And then, I love what you're saying about the three clarities. That, okay, now you have that going, but now you need to really zero in. These are all of the who, the why, and the what. And everyone starts with the how. And how is the least interesting question. There's a million hows. Once you figure out the who, the what, and the why, you can do almost any how and it will work. I mean, I'm just ranting here, but is that your experience also?
Yes, in a way. It can potentially like the how become important later on, like at the time that you want to leverage it and other things. But then the thing is that when you are missing all this foundation piece, that's why a lot of people get stuck at not generating income. Many people get stuck at getting to 6 figures and not being able to get themselves to 7 figures. Yeah. It's just because that foundation piece isn't working properly.
Yeah.
If you get that foundational piece working properly, then that's going to actually turn you into a leader. It's going to create a movement. It's going to create lots and lots and lots of other things. And it's going to help you to make a big impact in the world. And now you have an impact-based business instead of having a business that is competing over price and features.
Yes, absolutely right. I totally love it. Well, I know that you've got some gifts and resources and links. I'm going to tell people where to get those links here as you're listening. Mm-hmm. Pop over to this episode, under this episode on thespeakingshow.com. All of the resources, gifts, links that Iman is about to share will be right under this episode. Stop your car, pull out your phone, make sure to take advantage. And Iman, where can we send people to pick up your resources?
So the thing that I shared today, right now, I shared them very quickly and just kind of covered like a little bit on top, like it's just kind of like. But one of the things that you can do is that we have a webinar, we have a training that is available online to you guys, and you can watch that training. And that training is an hour, goes a little bit more in depth of this. Now, the good thing is that at the end of that training, if you stay to the very end of it, which I highly recommend to you, you can get access, because this course, there's a course called Marketing Message Blueprint, and we generally publicly sell that course at $2,000 when people come and go through all of that. But then if you stay to the end of that, so we're going to give a special link to David to share with you guys. So you can go and click below on that link. When you go to that, that's a special offer for people who are coming from David. You can go and get that entire training as a gift if you commit to study the training and show up at the 3-day event where we are building that action plan for you. Okay, so you can get that whole $2,000 training as a gift. So I highly recommend to you go to follow the link that David is sharing with you below, and click on the link, watch the training, take notes, and also show up. And we're going to work together for 4 weeks. And the first week, we're going to talk about yourself, your target market, and your joint venture partners. We have the workbooks and everything. We're going to write your life purpose. We're going to figure out all of those things. I have a very step-by-step, like this is step 1, and this is what you're going to do. You're going to get the workbook that you're going to follow. You're going to fill it in. And as you go through the training, by week 4, you have absolute clarity around all of those pieces. Plus, you'll get access to Marketing Mastery Summit, where we're going to spend 3 days and build an action plan for you on how, now that you have this, then how to put together a business model. That business model can help you take your business to 6 figures and 7 figures by following your life purpose and your passion. Because, I mean, it's amazing to know your life purpose and passion, but if you don't connect it to money, then, as I said, you can't afford it. If you follow the money without following the life purpose and passion, again, you're just going to end up in golden handcuffs and you're going to get stuck. So that's, anyhow, you can get access to the entire training as you are listeners to David's program. Love to give you this gift. Go and watch a free training. And from the free training, if you stay to the end, you get another free training. That's a $2,000 value, actually something that we sell for $2,000.
Iman, that is tremendous. Thank you. Thank you so much for your generosity. I'll tell you, I didn't even get to the point of the golden handcuffs. I had maybe silver handcuffs, bronze handcuffs, but what you're talking about here is so foundationally important that if you build a business on sand, doesn't matter how big it gets, it's going to topple over. To your story of the guy that was doing it for 20 years, lost in the woods, lost in the forest, making all this money, but not happy and not in line with who he was meant to be on the planet. I have to ask you, just because in our closing minute or two here, he went from the skeevy dating coach. What kind of business did he then rebuild when he did his do-over?
He actually ended up building a business where he was helping people with finding their purpose and doing communication, because he was really good at communication, right? That's what he was actually teaching people. He was amazing at teaching people about confidence and communication. So that's kind of how it changed this. And he continued doing the kind of like dating coaching for some time, because obviously like the income wasn't suddenly replaced.
It was a transition.
It was a transition, right? But over the transition, now he's working with people, and he didn't used to work with people one-on-one. But then we switched him to the place that we could actually kind of work with people for $10,000 a day, and working with them on the confidence and communication, works with CEOs of large companies.
Wow, what a great success story. And I know you've got many, many, many others as well. So go to the link right under this episode at thespeakingshow.com. Iman Aghay, you are a fantastic, generous soul. Thank you for being with us. And this was awesome, awesome teaching today.
Thanks, David, for having me.
Well, that wraps up another episode of The Speaking Show. Hey, tell you what, if you like us, rate us and review us on iTunes. Subscribe. Tell a friend. Go grab the notes and downloads and extras at thespeakingshow.com. See you next time.